The Overwatch League is dead. Long live the Overwatch League. But what is the next step for top tier esports in Overwatch? Let's have a look. Hey guys and dimsies from the Omnic Post. It had been in the air for the last few years, but the 2023 season of the Overwatch League was the last. An unfortunate end to a dream. In this video, I want to look forward to what is next for the Overwatch League or whatever they end up calling Overwatch esports in general. But first, let's run down the timeline really quickly. How did we end up right here? Back at BlizzCon 2016, Blizzard announced their ambitious plans. A franchise model with strong, localized branding. Much like mainstream sport teams do, like basketball, baseball, football, what you guys in the States call soccer, and American football. Up till that point, Overwatch eSport had more of a grassroots model, where third-party organizations or companies set up tournaments, and where Blizzard's involvement was rather limited. They handled licensing, set up servers, and sometimes did promo for the bigger tournaments. But in my honest opinion, that was where Overwatch eSports shined. That was a difficult sentence. I look back at that time very fondly. I loved the Apex tournaments. We saw self-made teams work their way up to the top, and some of them became the biggest names in Overwatch esport history. Now that grassrooted team model kind of continued in Overwatch Contenders, but Blizzard had full control, and Contenders just had a hard time escaping the huge shadow that the Overwatch League cast. My girlfriend is quite familiar with that, because I'm a huge man, I'm very tall, and she hasn't seen the sun in at least, I don't know, 4 to 5 years. She looks very pale. In any case, Overwatch esports kinda became artificial. Some individual players managed to escape to the tier 1, but for the teams and the people behind those teams, the organizations, there was no way up, because the Overwatch League was a franchise model. Some people paid a lot of money, up to $60 million, to get a license in the Overwatch League. Now don't get me wrong, on paper it had potential, and it was sold to us as the future of esports. They even copied it for Call of Duty, but that's not how it panned out. We'll never know what happened behind the scenes. All we got to see was a group of really hardworking people, both in the teams and the overall organization. They tried their best, but I can't shake the feeling that the whole idea was hijacked by Mr. Bobby Kotick. He saw in it another one of his money-making schemes. I really don't like that man. Can you tell? Making money is part of the corporate model, but when it becomes your sole focus, yeah, not good. Now over the years we have heard comments from ex-employees, we've seen hints, and we do know that Bobby flew all over the world to try and convince his high-level friends to invest in the Overwatch League, at which point the stakes rose even higher. And it became this almost all-or-nothing deal, doomed to fail from the start. Which might explain the change in leadership we saw every few years, or every few months. They were just passing on the hot potato. And that potato got even hotter. Because just as they were about to raise the stakes, more localized events, everybody was going to be traveling, and the pandemic hit. No more live events, no more traveling. They had to go through the transition of working at home and even broadcasting from home. That's where the real problem started. And let's not forget that kind of weird ass deal that they closed with YouTube, pulling everything away from Twitch. There were the scandals at Blizzard. People got fired left and right. It was a huge mess. And no matter if you believed in the potential of the Overwatch League or not, you gotta admit, they were dealt a rather bad hand. Which is a sad story, but in the end the investors don't care. They want their money back, and then some. But the return wasn't there, so they got nervous. Payments were frozen, debts were scrapped, and after a long back and forth, they actually struck a deal. At the end of the 2023 season, all of the team owners would get to vote on if they wanted to continue with the Overwatch League under its current operation agreement. It just means the whole franchise model, everything as it is right now, or was. If they voted against continuing, they would all get a $6 million payout, kind of make up for all their losses. I mean, do I need to make a drawing? That's all she wrote. The cast and the crew already said their goodbyes at the end of the 2023 season, before the vote was cast, because they knew what was coming. And one by one we saw the teams announce their departure from the Overwatch League. Till early this month, it was officially announced that the Overwatch League as we know it was over, and that they were going to resource and research the next steps for the Overwatch esports program. Now, since then, there have been rumors. Well, even from before that, there have been these rumors. Rumors that they are in talks with third-party tournament organizers. like the ESL Faceit Group, which could be taking on North America and Europe, and WDG, which would be focusing on Asia. Now, look, it is unclear what the actual content of those talks are, who else they are talking to, and what the proposed model actually is. How much Blizzard wants to remain in control of all of this. But it could potentially be the start of a new era for Overwatch esports. A new era that is based on the past, like those Apex tournaments I was talking about earlier. And we need to get back to that model. An open league, grassrooted, where teams work their way up and they reap the benefits of that hard work. Because those are the storylines we want to see. We want to see those underdogs, those people that we recognize ourselves in, rise up to the occasion. Inspired by Blizzard themselves, inspired by Overwatch, the game. Stories that will bring fans together, that will get us interested again, that will get us all invested in Overwatch esports. And in due time, new and exciting franchises will stand up from all of this. And they will be driven by the passion for the game, for the competition, rather than some money-making schemes that try to shortcut 50 or maybe even 100 years of natural progression. If Blizzard can find the courage to let go and allow these companies, allow these teams, the players, the community to shape the future of Overwatch esports, we might go back to those glory days where they managed to fill big arenas and where the viewer numbers topped the charts. Because yeah, Overwatch might not be the typical esport, and it's not always as easy to follow for people that don't play the game. But it does have some passionate fans. My comment section is proof of that. But anyways, let's see what they come up with. And personally, I can't wait to see some of these talented teams to rise up. Now, talking about talented teams, in the next episode of our podcast, the Omnic Weekly, that we are recording this weekend, we will be talking to Kev and Ash, the owners of Ex Oblivione, the team I have my eye on for the future of Overwatch esports. So much so that we recently partnered up, but more about that later. And we're going to discuss the future of Overwatch esports from their standpoint instead of that of a bearded man that makes a living out of yelling at the camera. What they need, what they want to see happen. So make sure to check out that episode when it releases next Monday. Unless you're a Patreon, then you get access to it Sunday. Anyways, I kind of feel like this has been a bit of a serious video. Pee pee poo poo caca. There, fix it. But tell me, were you still actively following the Overwatch League during this 2023 season? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, YouTube likes that when you start talking to me. A big thank you to my patrons for their support. You guys are legends. And you too can join the Omnic Post family over on patreon.com/the Omnic Post. But above all, make sure to subscribe. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.